Good morning, guys. Okay, so today we're working through the last two problems of the week. Alex uses blank grams of tea leaves to make blank fluid ounces of tea. Last week, she made blank fluid ounces of tea. How many grams of tea leaves did Alex use to make tea last week? If you notice the pattern, we are having a certain amount of grams of leaves will make a certain amount of ounces of tea. So in my mind, I already kind of see a proportion forming. I see a pattern forming. That would be more of your plan. When we understand what the question is asking, by the time we finish everything out, what we should ask ourselves is how many grams of tea leaves did she use? That is what we are finding out. You can go ahead and note down any other understanding or planning aspects that you need before moving to using the actual numbers. So for this problem, we already decided that we should use a proportion. I'm going to go ahead and set up my proportion here. Whenever we set up a proportion, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, what are the two things we are comparing? In this problem, we are using grams of leaves. Oh, that's not pretty. Let me rewrite that. Grams of leaves, which creates ounces of tea. So we have a few numbers. Let's figure out what we need to do with these numbers. We have 6 grams of tea makes 24 ounces. 288 ounces makes how many grams? Okay, so you can see that the order on those are switched. What you want to do is kind of notate 24 fluid ounces. And you're going to match up what the unit is here with what the unit is on your proportion. That is really the reason why we put units, is to keep our work lined out the way it needs to be. So 6 grams, I want you to ask yourself, would that go on the top or the bottom of this proportion? It would go on the top. 6 grams goes with, so this is a ratio by itself, it goes with 24 ounces. Then it says last week she made 288 ounces. Would that go on the top or the bottom? It would go on the bottom because it is ounces. What we need to know, what we don't know, is how many grams she used. So you could do a few different things here. We could estimate our answer. Let me pick a different color here. I'm going to estimate this just to make it easy on myself. I'm going to turn this to 30 and this to 300. If I do that, I could easily see a scale factor here. You are multiplying by 10 to go from the first ratio to the second ratio. If I was going to multiply 6 by 10, I would get 60. So 60 is a good estimate. Let me go ahead and type this out. You can take my mouse.
No, I can hear from it.
Okay. So 60 is a good estimate. Let's just kind of keep that in mind. When we actually solve, it should be close to our estimate. Okay. So I'm going to pick a different color pen. The way that we can... All right, I'm going to start my video back. Well, I had paused it because you were talking to me.